please welcome on court Dustin Brown and Reilly Opelka. For those of you just joining us now, we're playing the Fast Four format. That means that each of the first 4 sets, if we get there, best of 7 games with a standard tie-break played at 3-all. And if we reach a 5th set, a pro tie-break, first to 10 points, with a 2-point margin, will win the match. In the Gant Championships 2019, the new generation and the now generation are currently at 2 matches apiece, so completely evenly matched coming into this, the final day. We also have instant sudden death juice points, with the receiver choosing on which side he wishes to receive the serve, and the net cord is live for both first and second serves, providing of course the ball falls into the service box. The player to the umpire's left, on the oak tree side of the court, is the, at 6'5", diminutive Dustin Brown, based originally in Jamaica and Germany, aged 34. He first rose to fame when he beat Rafa Nadal at the Wimbledon Championships in 2015, but he had also vanquished Nadal at the Halle Championships the previous year, and he remains one of only 4 players to have faced Nadal on 2 occasions or more to have an unbeaten record against him. He's been a world top 65 singles player and top 50 doubles player, and he's come a long way since he started out touring the tournaments of Europe in a VW camper van and running a mobile restringing service at the same time. Welcome to the comparative luxury of Roehampton Club, once again, Dustin Brown. His opponent this afternoon is Reilly Opelka from Florida in the United States, age 21. There's quite a debate on Wikipedia going on as to whether or not he is indeed the all-time tallest player on the men's tour. But at 6'11½", he must be very, very close indeed. He regularly serves in the 140-mile-an-hour speed margin, so keep a lookout for the serves. And he's on the verge of breaking into the world top 50 this year, having in 2018 3 challenger titles to his name, and breaking into the world top 100. And then in February this year, he won his first ATP championship in New York. Please welcome Reilly Opelka. Taking charge of the players and the Fast Four format, in the chair from Brazil, your umpire, Ana Cavalier.
So, Reilly Opelka just practicing his serve there, but he's just loosening up. Do you think we'll see a few aces today, Anna?
I think we might see just a few, yeah.
What's the tallest person you've ever practiced with and had serves coming down at you?
I remember I played against Dick
2
Norman
minutes.
in the mixed doubles at Wimbledon quite a few years ago, and I think he was probably about 6'6", 6'7",
Yeah.
and the serves that he that he was hitting were kicking over my head, even on a grass court.
Wow.
That wasn't that much fun, I have to say.
Got to step in and take it early, half volley them. So this guy, when you see it coming down from that kind of height, players won't be used to that trajectory. You know, it's another thing, apart from just the speed of it, the trajectory is going to be, actually I've just realised we're going to be in a bit of a dangerous position
Yeah.
here if these balls come through the net.
Oh,
Oh,
so's the
near-
ball girl.
Nearly hit a ball girl there. So yes, when he's serving into the backhand court,
We'll have to hope Dustin
Ladies and gentlemen,
helps us
Reilly
out there.
Opelka to the right of the chair won the toss and chose to serve.
Surprising choice
Yeah.
to serve first.
let's just see whether Dustin Brown, if there's anyone that could unpick a big server's game, it's Dustin Brown, he's a big server himself, but he can improvise on
First
returns.
set,
He'll probably be
Reilly
blocking and
Opelka to
chipping and
serve.
all sorts of things. Could be interesting.
Love 15.
Dustin Brown, of course, a bit of a favourite at Wimbledon, but sadly not going to be there this year. Didn't make it through qualifying.
No, he lost second round to a Swedish guy, Mikael Ymer.
That's the big serve, isn't it? 130.
15
Is
all.
that 139 miles an hour?
It's probably just a loosener for Reilly.
Wow.
Just the 143, that one.
Into the net, yeah. Second service. Well,
30, 15.
mere 100 miles an hour. Far off.
Wow. 14,
143 miles an hour, straight past. It's safe to say height is an advantage in serving, isn't it?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Game.
I mean, the
Opelka.
angles he's getting on those out wide serves, you know, someone who
First
is even
game.
6'2", 6'3" isn't getting anywhere near that.
Yeah. Of course, the men's game was getting a little bit like that. It's when they changed the pressure in the ball slightly at Wimbledon, and they altered the grass slightly. They slowed it all up, and then people were missing the serve and volley and some of the game. And then, but they only need a couple of players like him to come along again, and they'll be rethinking it. Won't they?
15 love.
Dustin serving 113, and it's looking pretty slow in
Yeah.
comparison.
That's right.
Love.
Well, I do hope we manage to get a few rallies here, because Dustin is such an interesting player to watch when he gets into a rally.
Love. Game. Round. One game on.
Of course, when you've got the big serve like this, if you get the ball back, you've really got to make that point, haven't you? And if you're going to have a chance of breaking. Don't lob him, Dustin.
15 love.
It's got to be a topspin lob if you're going to get it over his head, I would have thought.
And a slight miracle as well.
Yeah.
Thirty love.
Only 139 miles an hour, that one. It's a superb return, isn't it? He's whipped that down the line.
It's so hard, even if you get your racket on the ball, it's hard enough doing something with it that he hasn't got an easy shot to play on the next point.
That's great hitting, Brown.
40-15.
Took a full swipe at that return.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely stunning return.
Shame the serve was out.
142 miles an hour and he whacks it round. Never seen anything like that.
Gant, Opelka.
Don't know whether we can see that again. But that shot, although it's a trick shot, you're not actually looking at the ball when it hits the racket, are you? You're guessing. You've turned your back on it.
Yeah. Pretty much you just get out of the way, otherwise there's no other thing
Yeah.
you can do to get a shot back in the court.
Dustin Brown, a master of some of these trick shots. With any luck, he may be one of these kind of players that could, even though he didn't reach the heights of the game, he made enough of a name for himself to maybe get invited to some of the senior tour, that kind of thing, when he finishes playing. He's certainly entertaining enough, isn't he?
Most definitely. He's a firm fan's favourite, that's for sure. And like you said, even though he won't be at Wimbledon this year and hasn't always played at all the biggest tournaments, everywhere he goes the crowd loves him because of the shot selection that he brings and the energy that he gets from the crowd.
It's found the worst drop volley. He nearly recovers.
Love 15.
I'm going to stick my neck out and say that's the worst drop volley I've ever seen. It's so high.
I think he was trying one of those trick shots where it comes and
Bounces
spins
back
back,
over the
yeah,
net, yeah.
but it just went a little bit wrong.
Did enough there. It's just
40-15.
guessed, I think, where Opelka was going, and that put Opelka off. Saw him move across.
When you're in a position like that, it's all about just making a move to one side or the other, or faking it. And
Gambling, and that's another poor volley. Not quite got his range on those. I mean, when he's playing his best, he just doesn't miss those. I remember when he beat Nadal. Nadal just saw he can't keep making those. He can't keep making them, and he did. Yeah, lovely touch. Nice to see the serve volley play. You don't see it very much.
2 games on.
Dustin Brown loves it. Loves watching him come in behind that. That's a good half volley, good hands.
he just never seems to go for the high percentage shot. If there's always an angled drop shot to go for, he's going to go for that. Whether it's better to go deep or down the line, he definitely won't go for that.
There we go. I've got a feeling in my bones here that Dustin Brown's going to get a breaker serve here. Let's see if I'm right. Just flips that across court. Pure wrist. slightly less confident now. Short, but a slower serve at 122 miles an hour.
Wouldn't mind if my slowest serve was 122.
Really couldn't afford to lose that. He got himself in the point. When you're in a point on a server like Opelka's, you can't do an unforced error. Because that's what happens next.
I don't even know how you go about beginning to read that serve. The ball toss is pretty much the same for, maybe that was a little bit to the right, but the ball toss is pretty much the same for going tee, body or wide.
Yeah.
At what point do you start just guessing and covering one side and then giving him the other serve?
That's why these kind of players that have got these serves, you've got your, you see the Nadals and the Federers and the Murrays come up against them, and they're anything can happen, because if they do hit 2 or 3 aces per game, you've got the tiniest of opportunities, haven't you, to get that break.
I think the thing we've seen over the years with Roger Federer, when he's played all of the bigger servers, is he's been able to block a lot of the returns back and get himself back into the point and nullify what the big server can do.
Yeah. Maybe just take it a tiny bit earlier, just step in and block it, and then cut out the angle. The further up you move, the less chance it is of getting past you, but your reactions have got to be so quick. That's a much better drop volley.
15 love.
He's got one over his head.
30 love.
That time he had quite a lot of court to aim for.
Yeah, he brought him all the way into the net. That's a nice play, though, isn't it? Nice to see some quality rallies. Good play by Opelka.
30-15.
It's making him play all these returns at his feet, getting everything back, so he'll be hoping he can sneak a break. Made every return to the feet of Brown. Got himself in the game, 30 all. Done it again, but what a volley.
Way too good.
What a volley.
40-30.
Playing a very good returning game here, Opelka.
Game Brown. Green game song. Tie break.
I'm going to stick my neck out here and say I don't think there's going to be a break in this whole match.
You think it's going to be all on the
All
tie
tie
breaks?
breaks, I think.
Could well be right. This is an example where this format works well, because that could have been a not that interesting set that got to 6 all. At least we got to the meat of the set quicker. Oh. A turn on a couple of points, isn't it?
It is, especially when you play someone like Reilly. You know, if you go a mini breakdown, it's so hard to get that break back. You have to have so much focus on your own serving points and hope
more
just
pressure, isn't there?
Yeah, just hope to get a little bit of luck.
Ooh. Made the mini break.
2-0. Opelka.
What we haven't seen from Opelka yet that you used to see a little bit from Karlovic is double faults. So he hasn't served a double fault yet. Oof. 3-love.
3-0.
2 big serves is 5-love. Could be all over.
I think it might already be all over this set.
2 great forehand returns. He was returning well in the game before, and of course we forget that it's not just a big serve. He's got a long arms, hasn't he? Long body. He's got a big reach for service returns.
For 0, Opelka.
Wow,
5-0.
unreturnable.
Opelka.
The way that was swinging around, where that ended up, I don't know how you could get a racket on that.
Probably stand in the side fence.
Yeah, you'd have to be waiting for that, and then of course he'd slap one down the middle. He's on the board.
5-1. Opelka.
So Opelka, do we know much about what draw he's got at Wimbledon? Perhaps we'll get our researchers on that. There'd be a few people not wanting him, wouldn't there?
I don't think anyone will want him on the grass. He'll be a really tough first round opponent.
Yeah.
Cedric Marcel Steeb, he plays.
Yes. 6-1.
And
Opelka.
as if that isn't enough, he's got another mini break. So 5 set points on it with a serve like that. 2 serves coming. I'm going to stick my neck out and say Opelka's going to win this set.
What a brave prediction from you.
Let's see. He has.
Game and first set.
Shocking.
Wow.
Opelka 4-3.
Sort of slightly stunned response from the crowd here, who are all very hot. It's a very, very hot day.
New balls, please.
New balls means you can serve even faster, doesn't it, Anna?
I don't think he needs any help.
No.
What was the fastest he served in that set? 143, I think?
Yeah, 143 was what I saw, yeah.
And it didn't even look like he was trying. That's
Yeah.
a scary thing.
Time. Second set, Brown to serve. love.
Sorry.
30 love.
What are the chances of we getting another tie break in this set?
I'm gonna say very high. Yeah. It's been big serving here. –
15. 30 all.
We haven't seen a dive volley from Dustin yet. I thought he might have flung himself at that one.
I'm sure he'll be coming here soon.
I hope so.
I'll give us something to cheer for.
Exactly.
40-30.
It's been a bit of a service paradise for the moment.
I know, probably not quite as good for the spectators as the previous match. It had a little bit more rallying going on, but
I guess that's what you get when you have a 6'11" American playing it.
Game round. First game, second set.
shocking. We've had another hold of serve.
I wonder if we are going to see any breaks in this game.
Well, I did say to Tony in that first set that I'd stick my neck out and say that we weren't going to get any breaks in this match, so there's nothing to suggest otherwise from that first game.
Yeah.
I think even if you had like 3 people standing on the baseline, they're not getting anywhere near that serve.
I don't know. I wonder where his ace count is at right now. Probably about 10, 11 maybe?
You would have thought it must be double figures by now,
Yeah.
surely.
Game Opelka.
I mean, what do you
1-0,
even do
second set.
if you're Dustin? How do you even try and get into his service games?
I think he's just got to try and mix it up, maybe mix up his positioning on the serve, try and get Opelka thinking a bit. I mean, it's never easy when you're playing, again, a 6'11" guy who's just bombing down the serves. Beautiful shot there.
30 love.
Covers the net so well. He just springs off so quickly and again goes for probably the lowest percentage shot but pulls it off.
Yeah, he's so comfortable.
40 love.
It's quite nice to watch.
It's just nice to see a little bit of variation.
Game round.
Another
Round
easy hold there.
instruction, games to 1. Second set.
Yeah, I think against big servers, you're always got to try and mix up your positioning on the return of serve, and then hope for the best. Try and get the serve in and make a move. But it's easier said than done.
I think there was one important word in that sentence you used, hope for the best. I think it's probably got to be a lot of hoping to get the break because he just isn't getting a sniff at all.
Yeah. Good thing he's holding his serve just as well. So
I know, but then when you get to the tiebreak, the amount of pressure just to hold every single point, because you know if you don't, the set's pretty much done.
yeah, that's true, and that's what happens. You see a lot of the big servers, they just go to the tiebreaks, and then that's how they win their matches. Really.
But don't you
hold
think
their serve.
it puts a lot of pressure on them as well when it gets to the tiebreak, because they're so concerned about having to basically hold every point? Because I mean, obviously towards the end of that last set, Reilly found a little bit of rhythm on the return, but previous to that, he was really struggling with the returning side of it.
Yeah, I agree completely, and that's where the best players in the world, they're able to beat the big servers. They find that gap and they play the points well, and They make them play every shot, and it's hard for the big servers who have to rely on their serve. They're not as good on ground strokes.
I think you just have to look at sort of how Federer was, especially when he played against someone like Roddick, who had one of the biggest serves in the game. You know, the way he could basically kind of nullify his biggest weapon, and he obviously knew that as soon as he was getting to a rally, for the most part, he was winning those points and just blocking it back.
15-13.
Then you also have to look at his anticipation as well, and the way he reads the ball, and is second to none. And not all the guys have that, unfortunately. But how do you read that? Like what?
I think, as I said, hope for the best. Try and just guess one way sometimes and commit. But yeah, it's very hard to get those ones back.
But it's so hard when I mean, he's hitting the same serve off the same ball toss, so you know he could go. He's going either way with those.
I know.
Wait, please. Deuce, the setting point, the receiver's choice.
This one's very interesting here. I think the point before is exactly what Dustin should be doing. Just getting the ball back in play, making him move, and he won that point, and let's see what you can do here.
Is that part of his mentality though? Is he going to be disciplined enough to do that point in and point out, or is he going to go flat out and take a full swing of this forehand if it goes down the tee?
That's a very good question. I guess we're going to find out.
Probably.
Game Opelka.
And then he just goes and hits the outside of the line. So frustrating.
2 games all.
Even without the net cord, he wouldn't even touch that.
No, not a chance.
Love. Love.
Another hold to love.
Yep. The problem is even when you make the return back in the court, Dustin's all over the net. So unless you go for it, I suppose, then you know it doesn't matter if you make the ball in the court. It's a tough situation. Do you go for the low percentage and try and go big, or do you just bunt it back in the court?
Yeah, I mean, in doubles, I think when a guy's serving volleying against you, you just gotta take the ball early, take time away from him, and try and get it at his feet, or try and hit it right at him. Try and make him make that volley and make a tough one if you can.
I don't think you can. Well, especially in today's game, I don't think you can have the mindset of just hoping that your opponent's going to miss.
Yeah, no, that's true. But when you're playing guys like that who are just serving volleying all the time, it's better. I feel like it's better to take it early and try and put their pressure on them and take time away from them. Because if you wait at the back, take it a bit later and be more conservative, they're just going to eat you up at the net. And
I agree.
I think that's what we've seen with Opelka and Dustin Brown today.
I agree. I think the guys need to probably maybe take a few more risks, because obviously the conservative method, like you say, isn't really paying off at the moment.
low 15.
At least that one he hit over it and made it a little bit more of a tricky volley, and he gave up the error.
There you go. That's what he's got to do on a more consistent basis, I think.
Should go on court and give some on-court coaching.
15.
I mean, that second serve's kicking over Dustin's head, and Dustin's what, 6'4"?
Yeah.
And another 142 down the tee.
Has he gone past 150 yet or not?
No, fastest
not
is 143.
Okay.
But I mean, he's just, it doesn't even look like he's trying. That's just a 141 out wide.
He's just warming up for Wimbledon.
And also the ball, the Slazenger balls that they use at Wimbledon are pretty heavy.
Yeah.
Imagine the numbers he's getting at sort of US Open and Australia when the conditions are even quicker.
No, you easily go up the 150s, I think.
I don't know the answers to that, but for sure he must have done at one point.
And here's another tiebreak.
Surprise, surprise.
Oh, great movement from Opelka there.
And that's the thing, there's so much pressure on Dustin to hold that point, and he's already a mini break down.
It's going to be it's very difficult with Opelka's serve, but we'll see if he can snatch one of these points here.
If you go 3 love down, it's a long way. I know it's only 1 mini break, but it feels like it's a long way back when you're playing someone who serves as well as Reilly.
Like that.
2-0. Opelka.
For some perspective on how fast Reilly Opelka's serve is going, the balls are actually going through the back fence here, so pretty fast.
And this poor ball girl's right in the line of fire on the ad side.
Wouldn't want to be in her position right now.
No. To be fair, if she moves out of the way and misses it, it's going straight for us as well.
Test our reflexes.
I was going to say, you're going to have to take one for the team, I think.
Opelka.
I do find it surprising how Dustin Brown is able to play with that bag over his hair. Must be quite difficult.
The dreadlocks.
Yeah. Must move around quite a lot.
4-2.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's surprising that it stays on.
Yeah.
But that is his signature, and he's had it for as long as I can remember. It'd be weird seeing him without the dreadlocks.
Yeah, it would, and obviously doesn't bother him too much.
Not at all. He's done pretty alright in his career with them.
Yeah. Not much you can do about that one.
Opelka.
Dustin is not looking impressed out there.
Yeah, I mean, it's frustrating when you're playing a guy who's just bombing down the serves and not really giving you any rhythm, and it can be hard.
I suppose in a sense it's quite nice for for Reilly, or the big server, because he's fairly confident that virtually almost 10 times out of 10 he's going to hold serve, that he can have a kind of free swing on the returning games, whereas, you know, someone who's a little bit more, I suppose a little bit like Dustin, who's not necessarily always holding his serves, he has to be a bit more
cautious.
Yeah, on the returning games, because he doesn't have that freedom.
Yeah, definitely, and yeah, as you say, it's for Reilly, he knows that his game is going to revolve around the serve, and if he can hold serve six times, then he's going to at least get to a tiebreak. Yeah?
4 games to 3.
It's probably quite nice for the spectators here, though, that there's a tiebreak at 3-3 rather than having to watch Reilly serve 6 games worth of aces.
Yeah. And then, yeah, in the tiebreak, he's always going to have the upper hand as well. With
So I'm back after having a little break there, Luke, and I had a cold shower. It's unbelievable, the temperature today. I don't know what it is out there in the sun. We're in a little tent here.
We've got a little fan with us, but it is still very hot, yeah. I'm sure the players will agree with us.
Exactly, but there's not that many long rallies going on. The next match we got up is Ramos Vanilas against Ignacio Londera. That'll look very different to this match, won't it?
Definitely. Those are 2 players, one from Spain and one from Argentina, who are going to be used to a lot of rallies on the red clay and coming to here on the grass courts. We'll see what they'll bring, but I'm sure there'll be a lot more rallies than in this match.
3rd set.
It's no fool though. You often see these big players and you think, well, that's just a big serve. But just like Karlovic, they've got all the touch, they've got the ground strokes. And it's unusual because if it was just all about being tall, there'd be a lot of 6'11" players around the circuit, but there aren't many.
No, I agree, and he's shown that he has the touch. He's got really nice hands on the volleys, and
yeah, he's quick. He's going forward. He made a beautiful passing shot. Yeah, in the tie break.
That's right.
You got that serve to back it up. You know,
30-50.
It's players you can see them getting downhearted because they're used to getting the ball back, aren't they? And they don't.
It must be frustrating for Brown right now.
Can't get a rhythm.
Exactly, no rhythm, it's hard to get into the match when you're like this, when you're playing guys with huge serves like that. But that's Reilly's game, you know, he's going to base off his serve and...
He's playing by the rules, but he's got that slight advantage.
Yeah, big advantage.
Yeah. When the Wimbledon started to get a little bit worried that a lot of matches weren't interesting enough in the men's game because the big serve was dominating, they changed the pressure in the balls a bit, they changed the grass ever so slightly to slow it up. If a few players like Reilly come on the scene, they'll have to think again then, won't they? They'll have to...
Yeah, and I mean, the surface as well really facilitates the big servers.
Yeah.
And it can be a bit less entertaining for the spectators, but...
Yeah, I mean, I always felt that what they should have done instead of changing the pressure of the balls or the thing was just to make the service boxes narrower.
Yeah.
Then you can't get the angles, and you can still get it. It's coming through you just as hard, but you've got a chance there. At least you can get your racket on it. You just cannot cover the width needed to get your racket on a ball coming down at the height that he's whacking it down at.
That's true. And another question about the entertainment side and keeping people interested when it comes to this is the format of the game. And as we see here, they're trying the fast four format, the decisive points on the deuce points. What do you think of the of getting rid of the two game cushion in the fifth set at Wimbledon? I know they do that at other Grand Slams. They do a tiebreak now because otherwise it can get very long.
Is that what they've announced this year?
No, I don't think they're doing that this year.
Right, what are they? Is it exactly the same rules as last year at Wimbledon, or is there any difference? I remember it was, because I think Henman came out, didn't he, after the Isner-Anderson match, saying this can't go on, and I thought that they listened to him, and so it's still nothing at all in the final set.
I don't think so. I know at the French Open they've shortened it. I think at 13 all they have their
I think if
14 or
you can decide other sets, if you're happy to decide other sets like that, why shouldn't you decide a final set that way? It's it becomes a war of attrition out there, and it's people can't get home. They're sitting there, and you kind of don't want anybody to lose when it gets to 22 all, or even if it gets to 12 all. You kind of go, well, look, I don't want to see this match lost by somebody who's just going to drop dead. It's like
it's just hard for the next round as well. If a player who's played so many points, so many games, and then in the next round they can't do it because the fatigue is just too much. But so I would like to see maybe a tiebreaker in the fifth set at Wimbledon, like they've done at the Australian Open and the US Open.
If they could go back and make it at 8 all or something like that. That's when the tiebreak first came in at Wimbledon, it was at 8 all.
Yeah, I think that would work. That would work well.
It's funny though, I'm not in charge now. Here's a chance for Dustin Brown. He's got him at love 30.
Love 30.
Could we see a break? I still think he'll whack down a couple of biggies.
Couple of aces.
Let's see.
There's one.
15,
And he takes the speed off that one, but that's still at 115, that one where he goes out wide. That's long.
Almost hit one of the spectators behind the fence there.
Yeah. Well, that's a good second serve though, isn't it?
third show.
Right. Come on, Dustin. Get yourself. If he gets this point, he's got 2 break points because of the sudden death rules. He's got a chance. Just missed the wide one. That gives him a chance. Yeah. 2 break points. Wow.
I was talking with Anna about tactics against a player like Opelka. What do you think what would you do against a player that's serving bombs like that and when it's very difficult to get rhythm?
Well, I think you've got to come in. It's bizarre. You've got to take it early. So it's coming down. Otherwise, he'll just get you with the angles. But Dustin Brown staying that. He's going the other side. Yeah. But how can you when it's coming that fast? But you can't stand a long way back because that's suicide.
Otherwise, you have no chance. Yeah, I agree. And I agree. I think against anyone who's doing serve volley, the best tactic is to take it early, step in.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a bit more risky, but you got to take that risk and really step in and try and take time away from them.
He knew he had a chance there, Brown, and it was a second serve, and he just couldn't chop it back. He knows it.
One of the few that he's going to get.
What he did on the first point of that serve is he kind of ran out right, almost gambled like a goalkeeper does in the penalty shootout. Got to do a bit of that, I guess, just sort of say, right, I'm going to run out wide,
But it's a gamble. It's a big gamble. If he goes down the tee, then
I mean, it's I don't know. What would your tactic be?
I think, as I was talking about with Anna, I think trying to take it early and then mixing up where I stand on my return position, because if you mix it up, maybe he'll try and go for a bit too much on one side and then miss, and that will give me a chance on his second serve, because you can't keep him comfortable on his serve, because otherwise he's just going to keep hitting down the aces, and then he'll never be in the game.
But he had a chance there, didn't he, Brown? It was like he got the second serve, just chipped it back long. But
Time.
we played a good game. It wasn't not good enough. So, and 2-1, I suspect we're going to probably go to another tie break. And I would have fancied Opelka in that tie break as well.
Well, he's already won the first 2 sets in the tie break, so and
Fairly
pretty comfortably, yeah. So he's highly favoured at this point.
Oh, he was going to do it between the legs, and he slipped.
Love 15.
It could have been a nasty injury. Let's have a look. Here he goes, just getting ready for that shot. And over he goes. Good lob.
It's a shame, because we would have liked to see a bit of.
Yeah, the crowd need
a bit more entertainment in there.
Yeah.
Fifteen.
We get our nice tennis in the Dustin Brown service games, really, in a way, don't we? Nice old-fashioned serve and volley. Yeah,
because you're going to hope that Reilly Opelka gets a few serves back. And
yeah, he returns well.
Yeah.
15.
Hold his own. Fine.
I was told recently he played Karlovic and won, but that must have been a hell of a match to watch. And that's a clever return from him. He chips and charges.
Puts the pressure on Dustin.
Yeah.
He tried to go for a bit too much there.
Back behind him. Wrong footing volley.
Game Brown. 2 games all. First set.
So no breaks of serve in this match so far.
Dustin Brown went down again. He's having trouble. He's just slipping a bit, isn't he? He's got they wear special grass court shoes with little dimples in. But he's slipping a lot.
30 love.
See, you've got to take it early, but it's coming at you so fast, isn't it?
So difficult, yeah.
Love.
141 miles an hour. What's the fastest serve you would have received, do you think?
Probably in the 120s, but maybe 130s.
I mean, it would literally knock the racket out of the hands of a lot of club players, wouldn't it? If they're trying to get their racket on a ball like that.
Yeah, I mean, even the other pros find it extremely hard to deal with, so I can't imagine for club players,
It's quite dangerous because you could get one in the face, couldn't you? It could flick off your racket, get ricochet into your face. If you get one at the body, you can't get out of the way. It's like a cricketer, you can't get out of the way of it in time.
Yeah, when the ball's coming that fast at you, it hurts as well.
I mean, if he hits a body serve to you, you're going to struggle to get out of the way of it.
Yeah.
Especially if you've used our tactic we talked about, which is taking it early. The other tactic is that I can think of is to go way back and just gamble each time which side he's going to hit it.
Yeah.
The only other thing you could do is say, right, I'm just going to try and read, just like a goalkeeper does in football. I'm going to guess he's going that way, and I'm going to take it right at the back of the court.
Just try and make him play every shot, yeah.
And then just try and get the ball back to his feet. But he's no idiot around the tennis court, that's the trouble. He's also a good player everywhere. So
yeah, I mean, he has to be. He's definitely much more just than a serve, because you have to when you're number 61 in the world.
Well, I would think he'll go up in the rankings with this grass court season here, and could have a good Wimbledon. I mean, which side of the draw is he in? Of course, in the other format, they've got more efforts at his serve, you know, so we know that we saw him face the break point in the last service game he had, so he is, and they only need to do it once a set.
Yeah, I think this fast four format would definitely be an advantage for big service like Reilly Opelka, and because just the return in this format, the returners have a lot less opportunities to break serve, and and he would only have to hold serve 3 times and win the tiebreak to win the set.
Yeah. Which I suspect is what is going to happen in this match. So, 2 points, 3 points actually, to take us into the 3rd consecutive tie-break. And what Dustin Brown mustn't do in this next tie-break, if he goes to it, is lose a service point early on. Yeah. He has done in both other tie-breaks. He's got to get his nose in front, I think.
Yeah, he's got to hold his serve in this tie-break, otherwise he's going to be in trouble.
He needs a mini break and hold 2 and have a 3-love lead to have a chance. I think it's he doesn't get his racket on.
1-0 Opelka.
Tennis must feel like an easy game when you get that many free points. Chance there for Opelka.
Yeah, it must be nice to have a serve like Opelka's, and just be able to just know that you're going to hold serve almost every game.
He's going to bump his head more than I do, though, so, you know, just swings and roundabouts. He's going to, travelling on the tube won't be so comfortable for him.
No.
That was important that Brown won both of those. Yeah. He didn't do that in the first 2 tie breaks. He was 3-love down in both and couldn't come back.
2-0.
But it's just, look, even a jolly, happy man like Dustin Brown, body language is, what can I do?
Yeah.
Thing.
That was a chance there.
Yeah. But he just didn't, wasn't he? It's just still coming through quickly and he didn't get it. It's the trajectory as well it's coming at, so it's coming up, bouncing higher. Oh, and that should do it.
There's the mini break. Vital.
It's quick,
4-2
clever and
Opelka.
almost feels like he'll have done enough.
Yeah.
Let's see.
What he has to do now is hold his serve for a few more points.
Yep. Oh, and that is it.
5-2.
That's the final nail in the Dustin Brown coffin, I think, a double fault. But he would have felt the pressure. He's now got to break Opelka twice on serve to just get back to level. And he hasn't won a point on Opelka's serve in a tie break in this match.
6-2.
Is why. Okay, what odds would you give me for Dustin Brown coming back here? Pretty good.
Yeah.
He's got a second serve. He's got to keep trying. Well, there we are.
Game 7, Opelka by 3 sets to go. 4-3, 4-3, 4-3.
Pretty emphatic stuff, and that's a man that could do some damage at Wimbledon. I think if you were a seed, you'd be thinking, I do not want him in the draw.
Yeah, he's definitely impressed too, and shown us that this fast four format is definitely an advantage for the big servers.
Yeah. But having seen his game,
Ladies and gentlemen, please thank Dustin Brown and Reilly Opelka.
so join us shortly when we'll be able to see a different kind of tennis played by.
If you want rallies and grand strokes, we've got that coming up for you in our final match. And please join me on court here at about 20 to 5, when I'm going to be talking to broadcaster, author, raconteur and tennis geek Tony Hawks, who's been busy commentating in our commentary tent all week. So join me for a few minutes before the final match of the 2019 Gant Championships.